Today, I'm going to give you 10 proven strategies to break free from the cycle of chronic long-term depression. It's so important that people understand that it's a real thing, it's a tragic thing, it's a horrible thing when you feel stuck in long-term chronic depression, not sure how you got there, definitely not certain how to get out. I've been where you are. I know what that feels like. Further to that, I've had the privilege of helping hundreds of people to break out of these cycles of being stuck in bad mental health and chronic depression, and I'm here to help you today. I've got 10 proven strategies that will help you to break that cycle, and we're going to get into that list in just a moment, but I want you to make sure you watch all the way to the end of the video because I've got a really special invitation that you're probably never going to hear or see on any other YouTube channel. Make sure you watch all the way to the end, to number 10, so that you can hear that invitation. Let's get into it. 10 proven strategies to help you break free from the cycle of chronic depression. Here we go. Number 1, you have to break the silence. One of the biggest struggles that happens when you're already struggling with bad mental health, and certainly when you get to that place where you feel like it's long-term, it's chronic, it's debilitating, is silence sets in, everything happens on the inside of your mind, and what is bad gets worse. You got to say to yourself, I'm going to break the silence, I can break the silence, and then you open your mouth and you start to talk to someone. You have to break the silence about your struggle. Number 2, you need to diagnose the history with a specialist. What does that mean? A counselor, a psychologist, a coach, a really trusted friend or advisor, someone who can figuratively hold you by the hand and diagnose the history of where you've come from and how you got to this place. If you don't understand where you've come from, it's difficult to chart the course out of where you are. So you need a specialist to help you diagnose the history. Number 3, understanding individual triggers and traumas. You see, when we understand what are the moments, the events, the relationships that got us onto this pathway in the first place, we can then learn to become aware of what kind of triggers and traumas keep us stuck there, and maybe in the future try to send us back there. Self-awareness in this season of your life is so crucial. We need to diagnose and we need to understand those individual, unique triggers that are custom to you so that we can understand how to help you get free. Number 4, consulting with medical practitioners when necessary. I get this question from people all the time. Should I go to the doctor? Should I talk to my GP? Should I see a psychiatrist? Well, all of those questions are actually good questions, and there's nothing to lose by talking to a medical specialist, particularly if you are in chronic long-term depression. You may need some medical assistance, and there's no shame in that. It's so important that people understand, in the same way when we break a bone, we go to the hospital, we get the bone set straight, we fix it in a cast or a sling so that it gets immobilized long enough to heal. The interesting thing about a broken bone that gets fixed properly is that the joint where it breaks, or the point in the bone where it breaks, if you set it properly, it's actually stronger in that location than it was before the break. Fascinating for us, the same can be true, that the thing that is debilitating you today can actually go on to become one of your greatest strengths in life so that you can help others. So we need to talk to medical practitioners when necessary. Number 5, returning to nature. And what I mean by that is I'm including sunlight, exercise, good food, good sleep, all of these things, returning to nature to get us into the place where our soul can breathe, our mind gets aerated, we get the physiological, chemical, neurochemical benefits of sunlight and being exposed to being outdoors. Such a powerful and underrated trait and strategy for us to access when we're stuck in this horrible place of long-term depression. Guys, I want to take a quick pause in the middle of our list right now just to encourage you. If you're watching this video today, then it's probably right. It's probably serendipitous. It's probably meant to be that you happened upon this video so that you could get the help that you need. And I want you to know that even though you're on the other side of the screen and I'm on this side of the lens, I'm thinking about you and your struggle. I'm picturing you in your struggle. I'm resonating with you and I'm empathizing with you. And I want you to hear the encouraging words. You can break free from where you are. You don't have to believe that this is now going to be the story of your whole life. It doesn't have to be that way. I've seen lots of people get free from the place that you're in right now, and you can do it too. And I want you to believe that because I definitely believe it. Getting back to our list, number 6, proven strategy for how we break free and break the cycle of chronic depression, returning to simplicity. Sometimes we compound our mental health struggles because we're trying to live an overcomplicated life. We're reaching for too much stuff. We're trying to achieve too many things. We're listening to the pseudo-gurus of the productivity cult. And we're just filling our soul and our mind with so much extra stuff. One of the best things you can do for yourself is actually minimize, spring clean your mind, spring clean your soul, and return to simple. Number 7, discovering purpose and walking in it. What I mean by this is understanding the truth that all people were created uniquely with a certain set of strengths and weaknesses. If you haven't had the chance to be helped with this yet, you need to identify some books, some video content, a coach, a mentor, a friend, somebody and some collection of resources that can help you to journey towards understanding what is your wiring, what is your shape, why were you put on the planet? Because if you can figure out what your strengths are, where your sweet spot is, how to swim in your lane, if you can discover that and start to walk in it, I guarantee you this is one of the greatest things that you can do to break out of that cycle of chronic depression and start living the kind of life you want to live. Number 8, discovering the joy of helping others. One of the hardest things to do when we're in this state of chronic depression, and yet, ironically, one of the most important things to do in order to break out of that cycle is to turn the attention of our eyes to somebody else's need. Even if it's tiny, shouting someone a coffee, buying someone a meal, opening a door to somebody, if we can find just that tiny little kernel of energy to intentionally help someone else with their need, you will be amazed at what it can do to kickstart recovery in your soul. Discovering the joy of helping others. Number 9, on the journey, proven strategies for how to break the cycle of chronic depression in your life. Number 9 is walking towards faith. Now, I'm not here to tell you what to do in regards to faith, but I do want to encourage you that finding faith in the eternal is a crucial part of your wiring and your makeup as a human being. This life is not the end. There are other things to learn and other things to know, and maybe for you, and it's up to you to decide, but maybe for you, it's time for you to turn your eyes upwards, heavenwards, so to speak, and start to journey towards faith and begin to incorporate prayer and meditation in your life so that you can gain that extra insight into who you are and how to get help and how to walk a pathway that's got eternal purpose at the center of it. Number 10, the last item in our list of proven strategies for breaking the cycle of chronic depression. Number 10, utilizing the power of disconnection. Now that sounds a little bit strange because we get told all the time, you've got to stay connected, you've got to be connected. And there is a truth to that, but when people get stuck in chronic depression, they need to go through a process of deconstruction so that they can reconstruct their life. And I want to urge you that this is your season and your day to utilize the power of disconnection. Learning to disconnect yourself from screens, learning to disconnect yourself from extra stress, extra noise, all of other people's activity. You don't need all of it in your life. Disconnecting yourself from toxic relationships. You ought to take inventory of all of the items that exist in your life that you really don't need connection to in this season. If you can learn to utilize the power, which is your power, and you need to be powerful in it, to disconnect from the things that you don't need, you will find you'll have the energy when the time comes to reconnect to all the good things, the things that you actually need in your life. As I said a few moments ago, I am in your corner. I am believing in you, I am hoping for you, and I want to see you put these tips into practice and break the cycle of chronic long-term depression in your life. I'm glad you watched all the way to the end of the video because I've got a special invitation for you. If you're watching this video today and that is you, you're in this state of long-term or chronic depression, or you feel like you're in a cycle of really poor mental health and don't know what to do, don't know how to break out of it, I want you to jump into the comments below. Just send me a real simple message, say, Andrew, that's me, or Andrew, this video was for me today. Put that in there and I will reach out to you so that we can arrange to have a call, either on the phone or a video call, so that I can talk to you and give you some personalized, customized help to get free from this cycle that you're in. I hope this video has really helped you today and you got something useful from it. I want you to break out of that cycle of chronic long-term depression and live the life you always hoped you could live. I'll see you in another episode real soon.